Spain has always been the dream destination. Sun-soaked beaches, buzzing nightlife, historic streets, and endless tourists pouring in year after year. But what if everything you've heard about Spain is just the surface? What if the paradise everyone posts about online is quietly starting to collapse? Behind the postcards and travel videos, cities are straining, prices are skyrocketing, and the very system that made Spain famous for tourists is now showing cracks that could change everything. Imagine arriving in Barcelona or Mallorca and realizing that the streets aren't as vibrant, the hotels aren't as welcoming, and the experiences aren't as perfect as the hype promises. Locals are frustrated, workers are leaving, and visitors are starting to notice it too, but almost nobody is talking about it openly. The boom that Spain relied on for decades is under pressure, and it's only a matter of time before the cracks become impossible to ignore. Before we go any deeper, hit that subscribe button if you want to see the real stories about the world's most famous destinations, the things travel guides don't tell you. And tell me in the comments, have you ever felt like a place wasn't what it seemed when you visited? Spain's streets may look crowded and lively, but behind the scenes, the reality is far different. Small businesses are closing faster than new ones open. Restaurants that once thrived on tourists are now empty half the year. Rent for locals is skyrocketing, forcing young people to move far from the cities they grew up in. Even the most famous landmarks are feeling the strain. Long lines are replaced by frustration, and the energy that made Spain iconic is fading. Tourists are starting to notice it too. What was once a dream getaway now comes with hidden costs, crowded attractions, and experiences that feel rushed or overhyped. For a country that built its identity on tourism, this is more than an inconvenience, it's a warning. The very engine that fueled Spain's economy is showing signs of overwork, and the cracks are spreading into every corner, from beaches to historic plazas. This isn't just speculation. Experts are raising red flags, and locals are sharing stories of frustration and exhaustion. Spain is at a tipping point, and the choices made in the next few years could determine whether it recovers or continues to spiral. Before we move on, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to uncover the truth behind the places everyone thinks they know. And in the comments, tell me, have you noticed a country or city losing its charm unexpectedly? It is not just the small businesses and crowded streets. Spain's tourism collapse is slowly affecting entire industries. Hotels are struggling to fill rooms, travel agencies are cutting staff, and even the airlines are feeling the pinch. What was once a guaranteed flow of income from millions of visitors is now unpredictable, and the uncertainty is spreading fast. Cities like Madrid and Valencia are seeing the first real signs of strain, with popular districts losing the vibrancy that once drew travelers from all over the world. Even more alarming is the social impact. Locals are frustrated with overcrowding during peak seasons, only to face near-empty streets off-season. Young workers, who are supposed to benefit from Spain's tourism boom, are leaving in search of stability elsewhere. And for travelers, the experience is becoming increasingly unpredictable. What was advertised as a dream vacation is now a gamble between luxury and disappointment. Spain's reliance on tourism has always been a double-edged sword. For decades, it brought money, jobs, and fame. But now, the overdependence is exposing vulnerabilities that many thought didn't exist. The question is, how much longer can the system hold before the cracks turn into a full-blown collapse? If you haven't already, hit subscribe to follow this story and discover the hidden realities of the world's most famous destinations. And in the comments, tell me, would you still visit Spain knowing this behind-the-scenes truth? The consequences of Spain's tourism strain are starting to show in ways most visitors don't notice. Streets that once overflowed with energy now have quiet corners where businesses have closed their doors. Hotels that were once packed during every season are now half empty, and some resorts are even struggling to cover their costs. Popular attractions are facing maintenance issues because funding is stretched thin, and that perfect vacation image is beginning to crack. It's not only the economy that's affected. The cultural pulse of the cities is weakening. Traditional festivals and events, which used to attract both locals and tourists, are now scaled back or postponed because there simply aren't enough resources or interest. And while social media keeps showing the glamorized version of Spain, the reality behind the scenes is far less glamorous. What happens when the very lifeline of a country starts to falter? Spain's dependence on tourism was always risky, but now, every missed opportunity, every empty hotel room, and every frustrated visitor is a warning sign. If the trend continues, the places you dreamed of visiting could start losing the charm that made them iconic. Hit that subscribe button if you want to uncover more hidden truths about travel hotspots around the world. And leave a comment. Do you think Spain can recover, or is the collapse inevitable? The ripple effects of Spain's tourism troubles reach far beyond hotels and streets. Entire industries are feeling the pressure, from food suppliers to tour guides to transport services, and the stress is only growing. Seasonal workers, once the backbone of Spain's tourist economy, are now uncertain if their jobs will even exist next year. The result? A workforce that is stressed, frustrated, and increasingly leaving for opportunities abroad. Even the cities that were once considered untouchable tourist magnets aren't safe. Barcelona, long the jewel of Spanish tourism, has started seeing an unexpected decline in visitors. Mallorca, Ibiza, and other famous islands are experiencing the same pattern. Tourists who still arrive find themselves paying more, waiting longer, and sometimes leaving disappointed. Spain's carefully built image of being the ultimate getaway is showing its cracks, and those cracks are widening fast. What happens when a country is built on an industry that begins to falter? Spain is now facing questions it never thought it would have to answer, about sustainability, resilience, and whether it can survive the next few years without major upheaval. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe to stay updated on the real story behind Spain's tourism, and comment below. Do you think Spain's golden era as a tourist paradise is over? The signs are everywhere if you look closely. Streets that were once bustling with tourists are starting to feel empty in unexpected ways. Cafes struggle to fill tables, souvenir shops that thrive for decades are closing down, and even famous landmarks are quieter than anyone expected. The Spain you see in travel videos and Instagram posts is only part of the story. The reality is far more fragile. Young locals, who once dreamed of working in tourism or hospitality, are leaving in search of more stable opportunities abroad. Cities that relied on a constant influx of visitors are starting to feel the economic pinch. And for the tourists who do come, the experience can be a mix of disappointment and frustration. Long waits, higher costs, and fewer authentic experiences. Spain was built for tourists, but that foundation is showing its weaknesses. If the country doesn't adapt quickly, the collapse of the tourism-driven economy could impact everyone, locals and travelers alike. The question is no longer if, but when. Before we get to the final part, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the shocking conclusion. And leave a comment. Would you risk visiting Spain now, knowing how fragile its tourism really is? Now, the reality of Spain's tourism collapse comes into focus. What was once a safe, booming industry is now unpredictable, and the consequences are spreading fast. Empty hotels, struggling businesses, frustrated locals, and tourists who feel the disappointment firsthand. It all points to one truth. Spain's reliance on tourism has pushed the country to a breaking point. Cities like Barcelona, Madrid, and Valencia are no longer just tourist hubs. They're warning signs. The patterns we are seeing now, workforce shortages, skyrocketing costs, and fading cultural experiences, could be a preview of what happens when a country bets too heavily on a single industry. Spain might recover, but only if it acts fast. Otherwise, the decline could accelerate, affecting every visitor, every worker, and every business connected to tourism. So here is the question for you. Would you still visit Spain knowing the cracks are growing, or is it time to rethink the dream vacation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay on top of the hidden realities behind the world's most famous destinations. This isn't just Spain. It is a story that could repeat anywhere tourism dominates a country's economy.